The hour of 6:30 p.m. Having arrived, I will call to order this regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment. This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene YouTube channel and channel 1302. The video is also posted on the city website by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. Anyone wishing to view a copy of the agenda and supporting materials will find it on the city website. To receive electronic copies of future agenda packets, please go to the homepage and subscribe to the City Meetings email list. The public and other board members will be recognized to ask questions and make comments on the agenda item under discussion. After being recognized, all remarks are to be made through the chair. Anyone who wishes to address the board is asked to go to one of the microphones in the room and identify themselves by name and address prior to speaking. As a reminder, the minute taker is participating remotely this evening. Board members, please be sure to turn on your microphone when speaking. If the minute taker is unable to hear, they will ask that you speak louder or turn your microphone on. Side note, the microphone has a little red ring that shows it's off, and when you press the button, it's green. That shows that it's on. Additionally, city staff wishes to alert the public of a recurring scam. Please be aware of potential wire fraud communications that appear to be generated by the City of Keene that contain expensive wire payment instructions. Consider it suspect and call our office 603-352-5440. Do not correspond with the sender. Make sure to check the sender's email address and not just the display name. We will always correspond using an official city email address, not Gmail, Yahoo, etc., and we will never ask for a payment via a wire transfer. All right, our first item is roll call, please.
Richard Clow.
Here.
Edward Guyot.
Here.
Tad Schrantz. Adam Burke.
Here.
Zach Leroy.
Here.
Stephen Buckley.
Here.
Michael Zoll.
At this time, noting that we have one spot available, I'd like to ask Stephen Buckley to join us as an active member for the night. All right, so we have minutes from two previous meetings. One was September 15th, and the second one was February 2nd. For the September 15th meeting, do we have any comments on the minutes? All right, could I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the September 15 minutes as written.
All right, and do I have a second? All right. So that was made by Mr. Guyot and seconded by Mr. Leroy. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes, please signify with either raising or saying aye. And that is unanimous. Thank you.
And I'll abstain, Chairman. I was not a member of the board at the time.
Thank you, yes. All right, and moving on to the minutes of February, what was that, 2nd? Yes, 2026. All right, does anyone have any comments or anything to acknowledge with those minutes? All right, do I have a motion to approve those?
Move we approve as presented.
Thank you, that's Mr. Buckley. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Guyot. All those in favor of the motion, please signify with aye.
Aye.
And that was unanimous. Thank you. All right, let us, do we have any unfinished business?
No, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so let us move on to our first and only application for the night. ZBA 2026-02, petitioners Spencer and Ashley Noyes, 134 Arch Street, requesting a variance for property located at 134 Arch Street, tax map number 23703600000, and is in the rural district. The petitioner is requesting a variance to permit relief from the side setback of 50 feet for the installation of an 18-foot by 36-foot in-ground pool per Article 3.1.2 of the zoning regulations. Could we hear from city staff first, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Evan Clements, Planner, Zoning Administrator. Subject property is an existing 2-acre lot located on the southern side of Arch Street, approximately 900 feet east of the intersection with Whitcomb's Mill Road. The property contains an existing roughly 2,600 square foot single-family residence with attached garage, associated site improvements, and there's also a detached ADU that's currently under construction on the property closer to Arch Street, as well as associated site improvements, including a driveway. The property is characterized as being relatively flat, with the White Brook located along the southwestern corner of the property. Located directly to the rear of the property on an adjacent parcel is Langdon Place Assisted Living Facility, and a 50-foot right-of-way easement exists along the western edge of the subject property to the benefit of Langdon Place and contains an access drive through the subject property and connects Langdon Place to Arch Street. The subject property has connected their driveway for the single-family residence to this access drive in order to reach Arch Street. The purpose of this application is to seek a variance to allow for the construction of the 18 by 36 foot in-ground pool to be located entirely within the side yard setback. The proposed location of the pool is within an existing fenced-in area located to the east of the residence. The residence is oriented to face the access drive, with the fenced-in area being in the backyard. The surrounding uses are either the assisted living facility to the south, located in the rural district, with a single-family residential located to the east and west, and the low-density district located to the north on the other side of Arch Street, also containing single-family residential as the predominant use. Additional information provided in the staff report includes our definitions for building setback, side setback, the purpose statement for the rural district, as well as the dimensions and siting table for the rural district, including the 50-foot frontage and setback requirements, as well as the minimum lot area and the width at building line. Lastly, the suggested conditions and draft motion do appear in the staff report. At this time, staff is not recommending any conditions related to this application. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
All right, does anyone on the board have any questions for Mr. Clements? All right, I invite the applicant to come on up, state their name, address, and their case.
Hello, Spencer Noyes, 134 Arch Street. We are looking to, as you said, put in a pool in our backyard. 16 by 36, in ground, within a 6-foot privacy fence, so it's not visible to anybody. So that's our goal.
If you'd like to maybe briefly go through just each of the criteria for us, that just can be your presentation. Whether you want to paraphrase it or if you want to read it out, either way is fine.
So as far as the 5,
Correct, the five criteria.
let me just get there, sorry. So, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest, mainly because it's private, it's within our fencing area.
Can you turn on your microphone, please?
Yeah, do I push and hold or just push it once? Just push it once. Oh, there we go. So granting the variance would not be contrary to public interest, only because it's improving our lot, which, as you would probably agree, only improves the value of all of our surrounding property, I would think. But it's not visible. It won't be visible to anybody. It's going to be still, I believe, was it 15 or 20 feet off the property line still, which, if we lived across the street, wouldn't be a problem. The neighbors across the street, about 2 houses down, just put an in-ground pool in themselves. But because they live across the street, they don't have to deal with getting a variance. If the variance were to be granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. So aside from the setback deviation, the project is fully compliant and otherwise fully consistent with the spirit of our LDC. And then, as far as number 3 goes, granting the variance would do substantial justice because the loss we would suffer in the use and enjoyment of our property far exceeds any gain to the public. And then as far as number 4 goes, if the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished, simply because our family pool is in a residential neighborhood and couldn't possibly diminish any surrounding property values, especially when it's not visible to anybody. And then 5, unnecessary hardship. Probably a tough one to say. That's unnecessary hardship for us to not be able to put a pool in, but, you know, we have 4 little girls. You know, our in-laws, my in-laws are gonna be living right next door in the ADU that's currently being built. So we got ourselves a nice little family compound that we're trying to put together so we can, you know, enjoy the summers. So, yeah, that's my shtick.
Okay. I'll invite the board to ask any questions.
Stephen Buckley, Mr. Chairman, I have a question. I think you might need to develop a little bit more. What are the special conditions of your property as compared to other properties nearby? Because as I see your property, you got a pretty substantial vegetative screen from the rear, and it does appear as if there's plenty of other areas not in the setback where you could put a pool. So could you explain a little bit more detail, why is it you feel you have a special condition that dictates the pool be in this location within the setback?
And the vegetation you're referring to, are you saying the southern line?
Correct, the southern
Okay.
line.
So I guess what I would say to that is because of the right-of-way that we have that goes up to Langdon Place, that right-of-way is really like our street. It's like, honestly, it should have a street name because it's such a heavily traveled road. So our house faces west, which faces that right-of-way. So to us, our backyard is on the tax map, it's not our rear lot line, it's the abutting lot line to our neighbors. So, you know, to us, our front of our house faces the right-of-way, the back of our house faces our neighbor's property. It's not the rear lot line. So, you know, the way the house is structured, the way it's built with the sliding glass door on the rear of our house, our fencing area that's on the rear of our house, you know, on the tax map isn't the rear of our property, but to us, it's the rear of our house, and that's where we, you know, spend our time. And like you said, once you get closer to the river and that vegetation, you know, you're not getting the sunlight. So it's mainly because of that right-of-way, in my opinion, that to us, it just seems like that should be the correct place.
Okay, Steve Buckley, to clarify for the applicant's benefit, what you're saying is that the way in which the house is oriented and the sliding glass door that one would normally use to exit from, say, the rear of the house, as you built it, to a patio, and then
Yeah.
perhaps to a pool,
Yeah.
means that this is the special condition you have, and that's due to how Langdon Place was oriented and how your house was built. Is that
Right.
kind of where you're going with this?
I believe, would you agree with that? Yeah? Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
And so I'll piggyback on that, Rich Clough here. So also the southern end, there is that waterway. So even though we are seeing vegetation, there's actually essentially wetland or waterway that cuts across your property, correct?
Yeah, it's a river.
So you wouldn't be able to put it in that southerly area because you'd be in that waterway. Is that accurate?
Well,
Or
I
you'd
mean,
be- you'd be closer to
we'd
it.
be in a flood, the pool would be in a floodplain, for one. But yeah, I don't know if there's any regulations against having a pool too close to a natural water source or not. I'm not sure about that part, but yeah, we stay away from that side of the house between with our kids and the fear of our kids falling in the river and, yeah. There's no doors over on that side of the house. It's
Yep.
almost like it doesn't even exist. The only time I remember that it exists is when I have to mow it.
So again, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I just be of assistance to the applicant. What you're pointing out is that from the handwritten drawing that you provided us, even though it appears as if you have plenty of space to put a pool on the southern part of the building, that area is probably compromised either by slope or wetlands.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any other questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
When was the right-of-way granted relative to your property?
So we bought the place back in what was it, 2018? We bought it in 18. That right-of-way was put in back in like, right, it was when Langdon Place was built, which was, I think, in the late 90s? 80s. I mean, the house was built in 88, but then that right-of-way was granted after the house was built to the Langdon Place whenever that was built.
Okay.
So we
Great.
unfortunately inherited that.
You inherited the right-of-way.
Yeah.
You did not grant the right-of-way to the Langland Place developer?
No.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much. If we do find that we have any more questions, we know where to find you. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have anyone here in the public who would like to, let me see, which way do we go? Opposed? Anyone here who is opposed to this? I don't see anyone. Do we have anyone in the public supporting this? I see a bunch of hands raised. Do you wish to speak out, or are you just showing? We can say for the record that there are a total of 5 people in the public, including the applicant, and I'm making a guess that they may well be related to the applicant. Okay. So by association, it's a continuation of the applicant, so to speak. All right. Well, I don't see any comments in either way. So let us close the public hearing and go into deliberations. All right. So going through our criteria one by one so we can talk this out. We've got number 1, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. So how do we feel on that?
Mr. Chairman, Steve Buckley, I would agree it's not contrary to the public interest. There's no inherent flaw or impact to the general purposes of the ordinance that would dictate that this is this is contrary to the public interest.
Thank you. I agree. Anyone else?
Agreed.
I agree as well.
Excellent. Okay. Number 2, if the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. Comments on that?
I believe it would be, similar to the comments on the first criteria.
Yeah, and I'll just emphasize that setbacks are designed to ensure that the density of particular areas are not compromised. And I don't see how an unground pool is going to affect the appearance of the density of the area. So it's hard to find that it would be anything other than the spirit of the ordinance is actually observed.
Right, especially with an existing fence already. Yeah, it would be, you'd have to have some sort of huge water slide to make that unusual. Okay, number 3, granting the variance would do substantial justice. Thoughts on that?
Well, that's a benefit and burden analysis that the courts have suggested we use, and, if the burden on the applicant is greater than the benefit to the public, consequently, you find in favor of the applicant. So, the substantial justice would in fact be done to the applicant in this particular instance.
Again, I agree.
Agreed.
If the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. I know I agree with that one. That's pretty straightforward.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Sure. Agree.
Okay. Unnecessary hardship. Owing to the special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. So we asked some questions to determine, essentially the placement of the building and the alignment of the building and the suitableness of where a pool could be put, which to me goes into that special conditions. That is why it would be situated there. But I welcome other thoughts.
Let me just emphasize, the Harborside case dictates that the special conditions themselves can arise from the property itself. And that's really a function of how this house was built in relation to the right-of-way and, the fact that when you take into account, this is a pool, an in-ground pool, it isn't going to have any impact really on the thing that setback does is to make sure you have adequate, you don't impinge upon the density of the rural area. So I think he's demonstrated there are special conditions that satisfy that prong of the hardship test.
And the last part of that is the proposed use is a reasonable one.
No questions there.
All right, pretty affirmative there. All right, so I would be more than happy to entertain a motion to approve this. We did not seem to need any conditions, so the suggested wording by staff would probably be accurate, but if you want to take a look at it and if there's anyone who wants to alter that, that's fine, because it's coming from us.
Make a motion to approve ZBA 2026-02 for the variance to allow for the construction of an 18-foot by 36-foot in-ground pool to be located entirely within the side yard setback on property located at 134 Arch Street, tax map number 237-036-000-000, as shown in the application and supporting materials received on February 6, 2026, with no conditions.
And,
Just have
Yeah.
a quick question.
Yes.
I just want to clarify that the pool is going to be built within an existing fenced-in enclosure. Is that my understanding? Okay.
6-foot privacy.
It's already there? Okay. I just wanted to
yep,
clarify that.
absolutely, absolutely. Yes, we were making an assumption there. Okay, excellent. And do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. Let us move right along then into voting on the criteria. Number one, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that was unanimous. If the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, again unanimous. Granting the variance would do substantial justice. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous again. If the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number five, unnecessary hardship. Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. For that one,
Aye.
that was unanimous, and the proposed use is a reasonable one.
Aye.
And again, unanimous. And on the main motion to approve ZBA 2026-02 as presented by Mr. Burke, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that was unanimous, and none opposed. We've had discussion before about whether we would do a finding of fact for something like this. It hasn't been set in stone. Is that something we wish to do, or do we feel that we covered the bases enough?
Well, there had been a discussion about seeking guidance from city attorney, and I don't know if that staff did that or where that stands.
Yeah, that conversation is still ongoing.
Okay.
At this time, it's, like I explained in the last meeting, it's up to you if you want to do one more to just really solidify the findings of fact. It's not going to hurt anything.
With that said, I'd be happy to make a motion that the board find as a fact that there are special conditions that affect this property, given the orientation of the house in relation to Langdon Place, and the probability that building the pool in the more southerly part of the property would be compromised by either slope or wetlands, and that the proposed location and, again, the configuration of the house demonstrate that there is sufficient hardship to justify granting the variance.
Excellent. Do I have a second? All right, that was seconded by Mr. Burke. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And again, that was unanimous. All right, thank you very much. It has been approved. All right, do we have any new business before the board?
Nothing new at this time. I do apologize that I didn't get a definitive answer from the city attorney on this issue, but we'll keep working on it, and then as soon as we have something, I will bring it to the board.
Certainly. All right, do we have anything to discuss amongst the board additionally? All right, then let us adjourn the meeting, please. Thank you.